Good afternoon. My name is Donald Canup. Now, I know there have been many speeches and talks given about how to obtain success. Some folks will give you a system. Follow my 12 steps, and I guarantee that you'll achieve your goal. Some folks say it's all in your head. Visualize it, and it will come true. And others prescribe a pill. Take this supplement, and you can achieve all of your dreams. Some of those step programs may provide some success, and sure, visualization will help you focus on that goal and maybe achieve it. And who knows, the placebo effect of that pill might propel your motivation just enough so that you can accomplish what you want. However, all these plans and systems and pills are missing one thing, and that's persistence. The willingness to show up, to give the effort, and to accomplish what you need to accomplish. It was my closing semester at Le Cordon Bleu in Atlanta, Georgia, and I needed to find an internship for culinary school. Now, this was around 2007, and Hell's Kitchen was all the rage, and I had been a fan of Gordon Ramsay for quite some time. He, among others, inspired me to take up cooking as a career. Along with his rising stardom in the U.S. and his storied cooking history and past, it provided an extra incentive to go ahead and apply for his restaurant in New York City called Gordon Ramsay at the London. Now, for the better part of 3 months, I must have sent 400 emails to his HR director, executive chef, and maitre d' at this restaurant. And time was quickly running out. I had still received no response, and hope was dwindling for this particular job. Then, like a shining star in my inbox, there was a message from the HR director. And the message stated, she would be happy to set up an interview and a date and time as long as I promise not to send any more emails. I quickly agreed and shot off a message promising there would be no further emails and I would see them at the interview. Now, this interview was a 2-day working interview, and I worked 28 cumulative hours over those 2 days, and it felt like I chopped 5,000 pounds of vegetables. But at the end of those 2 grueling days, I was hired. Fast forward about 6 years, 2013, and I just met the woman who would soon become my wife. Now, if you know anything about the hospitality or culinary industry, the positions are notoriously underpaid. My wife was a front desk clerk at a hotel, and I was a line cook. I had just gotten a job as a line cook at a local retirement community. We were broke, flat broke. At this moment in time, we had 2 children to support and absolutely no assets to do so. Money was tight. I'll say it again, money was tight. Anything that wasn't in the budget, I had to check the bank account just to make sure we had enough money. My wife and I joke that we used to have the budget for a candy bar, and sad to say that wasn't very far from the truth. Over the next 5 years, we had our 3rd child, and the tide began to turn a little bit. I was promoted a couple of times at work and secured the position as executive sous chef. Along with increased compensation, I started to find my work more fulfilling. My wife found a wonderful job at a medical billing company, and money became less of a daily headache. We were even able to save enough to buy our house. Now, that's not to say those 5 years were smooth. In fact, there were many ups and downs. We had fights about not being able to afford what we wanted, what we needed. They were far from smooth. However, there was one saving grace, and that's the fact that we said that we were never going to give up. Not on each other, not on our family, and certainly not on our commitment to become successful so that we could provide a future for our children. Now, I want to leave you with a story that is still unwritten, or that is still being written. I decided to go back to school in 2018. I started out with all the motivation in the world, and I completed my first semester with all A's. And then and everything was going great until the spring semester of 2020. COVID-19 completely derailed all of my plans. The kids were home from school. My work was increasingly difficult. The entire scope of my job had completely changed. I imagine many people's lives were upended in these unprecedented times. My priorities had to change. My time was needed more urgently at home and at work, as well as my department was undergoing a massive renovation. So I had to make a decision. I decided to drop my classes and pick things up again when things settled down. However, things didn't settle down for almost 2 years. After the renovation, I was working 60 plus hours a week. All the COVID restrictions kept the kids at home. You never knew when they were going to school. And it was a madhouse. Thinking about going back to school over those 2 years caused so much anxiety. I knew I had to retake at least one class because I didn't drop it in time. And I just didn't know how I was going to fit school into a 60-hour a week schedule. So I had to make a decision. Another decision. I decided to leave my job of almost 10 years where I had been promoted to general manager of 2 restaurants. And now I work at a local mom and pop. And I'm back in school full time. I plan to transfer to Western Carolina in the fall of 2023 and study nutrition and dietetics. On the remainder of this journey, I'm sure there will be many more peaks and valleys, many more obstacles to overcome. I believe, however, that despite the challenges, as long as I remain persistent, I keep showing up, I'll be successful. And now I want to end with one of my favorite quotes from Calvin Coolidge. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. Thank you.